Everyone, welcome back. Obviously, there have been a few days between when we started doing this and now. Some things have changed in that time, and Joe and I both needed a little bit of time to process it. I know for both of us, we are impacted not directly because we're straight white men, but we have family, we have friends, we have people that we care about that are impacted, and it was a huge hit. There's no easy way to just brush this off. It's going to be a humongous change. Joe and I are very clear on how we feel and our politics on this situation, in the fact that a lot of this stuff shouldn't be political, and it's made political. It's human rights, and it's as simple as that. There's no mincing around with this. And if this offends anyone, you are welcome to stop listening, unsubscribe, whatever. I have no desire to try and pretend and cater to people because we want a larger audience. I think Joe and I both are very clear on that. So, we're not going to belabor the point. I think a lot of us are still hurting, and it's going to be a long next 4 years, and there's not a lot that we can do about it. Joe, if you want to say anything, you are welcome to. If you want to just leave it as is, you're welcome to as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a sad day for a lot of people, but I've had some people in my life that I've talked to and stuff like that, including my daughter, including some other people. I know that what I did was the right thing in my mind by voting who I did vote for, and there is only going to be one winner. There are two people, one winner, and unfortunately, that the other person won. It doesn't always go your way. All you can really do, and I've been listening to some people. I like to listen to Jon Stewart's show a lot on TV. I've watched him. He had some very good statements that he made about it. Jimmy Kimmel's another one who I watch often. And, he was kind of tearing up a little bit when he was talking. And, you could really see that people are affected by it. And all you can really do is just, make sure that you are supportive, make sure that you're kind, which I tell everybody that listens to any of my shows, just be kind to one another. And that's really what it is, and we're going to need that, I think, more and more going forward from people, is to just be kind and just be a human being, no matter how it is that you believe or what you believe in. And yeah, it is going to be a rough time, I think, for a good amount of people. And like Nick said, maybe not us in particular, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have it tough. So just press on. And I know it's a cliche, but the sun will come out. And we will be able to, as people rise back from this. So, I'm still a little bit stunned by it all, but it will right itself at some point. Eventually, things always seem to do that. So.
Yeah, agreed. And it's one of the things that I love most about the Snap community and talking with people that are part of the Snap community. I think we're amongst friends, which is really, really nice to have. It's a comforting sensation because we don't have control. I don't know about you, but the state that I voted in, I voted in Illinois. There was no chance that it was going to go anywhere else. So yeah, in essence, it was those battleground states that did make the difference.
I look at it too like this. I think that what people have shown was that, and I don't think it was the candidates necessarily, but I think what people have shown is they were just sick of what was going on in the country. I think that's really what it was. I think that the people were they wanted a change. And I think one particular party suffered because of that, and they talked about it on CNN, all the news places. The incumbents were probably not going to win this because of the status quo in the country. And, whether or not, the big question is it going to be better? Are these people going to get what they want out of this candidate they voted for to make things better for them? And I have a lot of doubts about that.
So, yeah, 100%. Many of these people are voting thinking that the Republican Party is going to be there to support them, to support the people that are the working class. And I will admit that the left hasn't done enough to really engender themselves to that group and really just let them know that, hey, we're here for you. They may have done stuff in the background, but the problem is the left doesn't like to gloat about it. The right is very willing to gloat about it, and their base is fervent. When they want something, they can all get together. It doesn't matter if they have a difference of opinion. The number of
Yeah.
people that have supported Trump that called him a despicable human, that called him the worst thing to happen to America, that are now his biggest supporters. I think that's the problem. Is it wasn't even so much that a lot of people voted against. I think it was a lot of people were apathetic, similar to 2016, unfortunately with Clinton. And I kind of felt the same, just because I didn't feel that there was a lot of truth to her. It felt like it was a lot of performative. I felt a lot different afterwards. But I think that's the thing, is the right doesn't matter if there are disagreements. They have things that they want. And if that person is saying, I will make that happen, even if they aren't going to, which is very likely that there is not going to be huge changes for the middle and working class people. It is going to be a lot more tax credits for rich people, a lot more restrictions for women, trans kids, gay kids. Like that is the really tough thing, is that it has emboldened people. The number of douchebag kids that are out there screaming, now it's your body, my choice. I was disgusted. I saw quite a few posts on Twitter of people that were getting DM'd, trans women being called terrible things. That is the side that is voted in. That is the side that won. And it's infuriating, and it's heartbreaking, and it's shameful for our country. Like, we have another 4 years where we are the laughing stock of almost the rest of the world.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I hate the most about it, honestly, is the fact that this country needs a woman president. It just does. There are so many other countries across the world that have had women leaders, and I don't know if I'm going to see it in my lifetime. That's one of the things I'm highly disappointed about, because I really, really would hope. And it's so weird. Whenever you see things in movies, on TV, and all that kind of stuff, almost every show you watch, like sci-fi, fantasy kind of shows and that kind of thing, they all have women presidents, all of them. And I really had hoped that would end up being the case, because I really think that it would garner a new era in a way for us. And the Twitter thing, look, a lot of people, I think, that are, the ones that don't do those kind of things that you described. I think a lot of them are going to make decisions about Twitter, whether they hadn't thought of it before. But I think that a lot of them are going to make decisions about Twitter to abandon it altogether, because we all know who is in charge of Twitter. So they may decide at some point to be like, all right, this is just the most toxic. And look, it has been. Twitter is just the most toxic environment you could go to in social media. It is. It just is. And if it continues to be like that, I think there's going to be a lot of good people that are just going to say, well, I'm done with this, and I'm going to find somewhere else to go. And there are new things popping up that people will flock to. And hopefully, but yeah, I pulled up a thing where, I follow some celebrities that I liked in movies over the years. Mark Hamill being one of them. Yeah. And he was very, 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 very outstanding going against him. And the stuff that he had on there, that people responded to him afterwards and saying, you should just leave the country. We should kick you out of here. You should die. Like, just horrible stuff. And like, that's the worst of it. That is the absolute worst of it. I try to be as positive as I can be, thinking that that's not a majority. I think that those people that sit on that app all day long are the worst of the worst. And I don't want to say that that's the majority of people in the country. I don't. And I know that, look, he got I think what won him the election was the Hispanic vote, which kind of really surprised me, to be honest. My wife had said to me that she works with, we're in a very, very large Hispanic area where I live. And my wife works with a lot of Hispanic women, and a lot of them, she was talking to them about it just in general. They weren't, and they were saying, oh, well, we don't vote. And my wife's like, oh, you don't, and they're like, yeah, our husbands won't allow, they don't want us to vote. And so she, what my wife kind of gathered, and this is probably not true for a majority, but maybe a big enough populace enough where the ideals maybe are a little bit different, where the women kind of don't maybe get that voice necessarily to say what they want. I see, and I just don't know enough about that. But my wife does work with a lot of women that told her that, we wanted to vote, but we didn't register, or our husbands wouldn't allow it, and so So yeah, we could make this a rant for 2 hours, but yeah, look, just keep your chin up. I did like Tim Walz, who is the ever optimist of that group. He had a speech today, and he said, look, we fought, we did our best, and it always sucks to lose. He's a football coach at heart, and he makes those speeches. It sucks to lose, and it does. But he said, when everybody's ready and people, want to come back to it, we'll be here for it. I'll be here for you. So, and that's really all all it is that the people who just have to stick together and know that, there are people that are here for you. And I think that's a big thing moving forward.
Yep. I just exude love, care about your fellow people, be there to support people that are very likely going to be disenfranchised from this, and let's not let this happen again. We have the power to change it. We just need to mobilize, and we need to get all on the same page and be there for each other and stand up, even if it's imperfect, even if you don't agree with everything. Sometimes you have to just, like Bernie Sanders. I liked what Bernie Sanders had said. He had strong disagreements with Harris on a lot of issues, and he said, I'm still voting for her because it's important. That is when it comes down to the lesser of two evils, there is a right choice and there is a more dangerous choice. And a lot of people that were apathetic in 2016 saw that, and I thought that they would learn from that, but clearly they did not.
I think all that everybody needs to hear, and I say this a lot on the wrestling podcast that I did for a long time. Look, if you're having troubles with anything, reach out to someone. And if that's myself or Nick, reach out, DM. That's what DMs are for in Twitter. It's one of the few things on Twitter that actually can be a good thing. But reach out. If you're struggling, if you're having issues, always know that there's people that are there that are going to want that can talk to you, that can help you. So always reach out. Don't ever feel that you're alone in anything. And if you're feeling horrible about all this, reach out. And like I said, I'm almost always looking at Twitter for good things.
Yep.
And if I see a DM, I will answer it. So just reach out if you feel you need to.
Yeah. The only thing that brought me back to Twitter, honestly, was the Snap community. And that is the one positive thing about it. And I can try and avoid most everything else and be there to support the people that do need it. That's all we can do. So
100%. Yep.
We're gonna move off. We've said our piece. We're gonna move off now and actually talk about the game.